Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Sadashiva-samarambham Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam. Om Sagana Bhavatu Sagana Bhunaktu Sakabhiryam Karabhavahai Tejasvinavadidamastu ma Vidvishabhai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Om Namo Bhagavate Vaivasvataya Murtave Brahma Vidyacharya Nachiketasecha. So today we will see just a summary of Valli 2 of the Prathama Adhyaya of Katopanishad. I haven't prepared any slides, but I think we can just go through the whole text. If you recall, Katopanishad in the first Adhyaya has got 3 vallis, 3 sections, of which we are completing the second Valli. First Valli, if you recall, there are 29 mantras in which we learn the context. The context is Nachiketas, the young boy, who intervenes his father's yajnam with his unquenchable thirst for knowledge, that why is he giving something which is useless to the angels? And as a result, he got a curse or a blessing, it is, shall I say, to go to death. And because it's an undue death for him, the Yamadharmaraja did not accept him into the world of death. Instead, offers him 3 boons. You know the story. The first boon is to pacify his father. Second boon is to get the knowledge for the society on the rituals of how to do Agni Vidya. Agni Vidya is the Vidya that you do to attain heavenly pleasures. But the third boon he reserved for his own Atmajnana Vritti. So he asked the question, a most complex subject, the very simple question he asked: what happens to the person who dies? Does he exist or not exist? If he exists, what is his Swarupam? So he asked the Atmajnana. So this is what the first Valli finished. The second Valli, in the last class, we finished the 25 mantras. I hope you have the text with you. If you want, you can just have a look at it when we go through it. This is a very quick summary. So, Atma Vidya, Brahma Vidya, Atmajnana Anusantanam means you have to recite, contemplate, think about it all the time to get the import of it. So what we are doing is just the tip of the iceberg, right? Never mind. In these 25 verses, mantras, I'll say, we have a very good logical step from where Yamadharmaraja left. In the second chapter, in summary, what he's going to give is going to give the answer to the question. The answer to the question is 2 parts, rather 3 parts, or maybe 4 parts. The first part is, yes, we do exist after the death. This is a very trivial answer to Nachiketas, because if you're looking for Swargabhoga, obviously you know you are not dying. So when somebody cries when you are dead, they cry because they're going to miss you, not because you are going to suffer somewhere. So death is not an issue for us who is dying. Well, I am going to leave behind what I earned, but I'm going to go and earn something more. So it is not end of my life. It's not I become nobody. So that is a very important learning we have, because never fear death. Now, next question is, what am I? So if I am leaving this body, what am I going to be? What I am, what I will be. So he's going to answer that you are going to be a jiva, sukshma sarira, without the gross sarira. He's going to say that in the second chapter. Then he's going to say, this jiva in this world is as good as the Ishvara, because he's going to say in both in jiva and Ishvara, like the wave and the ocean, the forms are different, names are different, but the underlying principle is water, is the same. So if he's going to say the Atma Tattvam, the principles of consciousness, Chetanam, Chaitanyam, is same. But then the manifestation of the Chaitanyam is different. So there is only one Atma. But just for us to understand, Vedanta chooses to define into 4 parts. We're going to learn more in the subsequent chapters, but in the Valli 2, this is given in summary. The Chaitanyam that is there in you, the Atma, the light on the wall, that light that illumines everything, which we hardly notice as a light because we are focused on object, that is eternal. It's called Kutastha Atma, Kutastha Chaitanya. Kutastha means unchanging, eternal. That means there is, if something else, there's something which mimics that, is Chitabhasham. Remember the example I gave you? The light on the wall from the sun, you don't see the sun, you just see the wall. You don't look at the light, you see the wall, because wall is shown to you by the Chaitanyam. But when you reflect a mirror on it, with an intense little blob of light, you see it. But it moves, it changes. It is dependent on the sunlight. It is mithyatvam. It's not eternal. That is Chidabhasham. See, Vedantam does it in a number of ways. One is called Abhashavadam, what we're discussing right now. There's something called a Pradibimbavadam, Avachedavadam. There's so many things. But let's make it simple. So in this Katopanishad, Yamadharmaraja is taking an approach of not calling it Abhashavada. The later scholars like Vidyaranyar and Panchadashi, he call it a Kutastha Prakaranam. He explains all this. So we get advantage. We standing on the shoulders, we appreciate what is the import of Katopanishad. So there's an Atma which is eternal, Kutastha Atma, that is the like a sunlight as an example. And there is a Chitabhasham, which is the reflected light. If you want to have better words or an easy word to remember, consciousness and the conscious mind. Consciousness is undefinable, indefinable. Like knowledge. What is knowledge? If I say knowledge of what? When I say knowledge of what? Is it knowledge of that, this, and all that? it becomes objectified, it becomes encapsulated, it hangs on something, it has got a finite form, that you need a mind for it. Therefore, the light on the mind, the consciousness on the mind is called the jiva. Understand? So the jiva assumes that I, one who executes, I is the one who enjoys. I am the karta. I am the bhokta. So this little reflecting mirror goes around parading that I am the sun. Right? How silly. But that's what we do. If we forget the Atma and we associate with this Apasha Chaitanyam, Chitabhasam, and Chitabhasam goes through changes. The sun goes here and there, the mirror goes here and there. When it goes through the red light, becomes a red color. So it gets modification, changes. Therefore, it suffers. If it knows that I am not this reflected light, the modification is a joy. Samsaram is a divine leela. Bring it on. I can be a Kushela. I don't need to cry. I can be a Kubera. I don't need to be rejoiced. Because I then become a Jivan Mukta. I'm liberated from this Jivan Amsham. This is Jivan Mukta is a very important word. That you don't say Atma Mukta. Atma doesn't have Mukti. Mukti is liberation. Mukti is for which there is imprisonment, entrapment. Jiva is entrapped. So all this question about samsara means born in this world or marrying somebody or having children or having a family life. No, samsara is everything if you are not knowing the true nature of it. I can be a sannyasi reciting all the Vedas, renunciate the life, but if I am still not knowing who I really am, I am a samsari. Or I may have, like Krishna, had 16,000 wives, still like Jivan Mukta because he's unattached. That's why he is able to say, kill what comes in. You are not the killer. Nothing gets killed. So that is a level of promotion that Veda is not gives you. That means if I can do anything in this world, anything, I need to be unattached to what I do, be completely aware I am. Yeah. Now then you may think, hey, that means can I steal? No, you will not steal because the moment you get that Atma Prakasham in you, there is no avidya, there is no anatma, there is no asha, there is no attachment, there is no greed, there is no evilness. So you cannot do things which are prohibited by the Vedas, but you are free. You see? So this is where he is taking. So how does he do that? He starts very beautifully. How does he start? He said, I am going to give you, he tells Nachiketas, because you have chosen the right path. See, this is a Vedanta always to the point, but it gives you few words, and the words will make you think why the import is contextualized. Anyashreyo anyudvayo preyaha. In the verse, in the first 13 verses in the second chapter, second Valli, he is giving the importance of the Sishya, importance of the Acharya, importance of Atma Vidya. He's building this momentum of zeal and enthusiasm before he gives the knowledge. Because you cannot handle the knowledge. Now, if can I give you, you like the fire, you want to hold the fire, can I therefore put the fire on your hand? You can't handle it. You can't handle it. You need to be allowed, you need to be given a preparation. So he's giving preparation and he said, Nachiketas, Shreyascha Preyascha Manushyamayate. So he said, look, Prayers and shreyas. There are two ways one can live in this world. That's what he said in the first mantra. Then the second mantra, he said, these prayers and shreyas, they come to each one of us in the form of objects and knowledge and desires and vrittis. So they come to you. What does it mean? They come to you means you have the free will to choose what you can choose. Shreyo hi dhiro api preyesho pranite yoga kshema pranite. Those who choose the prayers. What is prayers? What is shreyas? That he explains in the verse 4 onwards, verse 4 and 5 and 6. Just to remember, recollect to you, prayers is out of priyam, out of desires, out of sukham. What kind of sukham? Anatma sukham. What is atma sukham and anatma sukham? Atma is chaitanyam. The chaitanyam's nature is sat chit anandam. It is not agitated by anything. So when you are true to yourself, when you know who you really are, and when you stay there, you are immune to sukha dukkha's. You are peaceful, blissful. Now, that is Shreyas. That is the real wealth. The Shri Shabda, Shri, we take it to be Lakshmi. We say Shri Lakshmi means Ambal is going to give you pounds, stock markets, bonus. Unfortunately, we put her in that kind of a lower form of role, giving us the Mityatvam. Of course, she will give it to you that if you want that. That is prayers. But Shreyas is to achieve the ultimate being of Atma. So anything else is Anatma. You will have a question as a Vedanti, Advaiti, you will have a question. How can that be anything? If Atma is everything, there cannot be anything. True. We will resolve that at some stage. But right now, we use this marker called Chaitanyam. Chaitanyam is consciousness. Broadly, we split the objects in the world to be Chetanam and Achetanam. This is not perfect. Because how do we know that consciousness is not there in a stone? It crystallizes, it modifies, it becomes a sand, it goes through transformation. Maybe it has got a consciousness, but it doesn't express itself so that we can know it. So when we go to the level of today, I mean, in quantum sciences, they do talk about consciousness in electrons. There is a kind of a computational power, not emotional power. We have no metrics for it, but rising at a common level. So we split broadly into animate and inanimate, sentient and insentient, chaitanyam and chetanam and achetanam. Everything that is achetanam is called anatma. So when you seek sukham, you seek sukham because I want this iPhone latest version. I want this t-shirt, branded t-shirt. I want this beautiful car. Because you see sukham in those objects. Of course, you and I know sukham is not coming from the object as if it's rising from it. It is how you feel about it, right? If the same car get hit somebody and then you get punished for it, then you hate the car. But if you are going after objects in this world, when I say objects, don't just mistake it for just physical object, even intangible objects. Priyam, I want to really that person, I want him to recognize me. That person wants to love me. That attachment seeking. Everything that is other than you, if you're looking for it, That is praise. Whereas Shreyas is looking to know the true nature of yourself. Because by knowing the true nature of yourself, you know everything else. Can you know the world? Yes. Can you know the God? Yes. What is Ishvara after all? Ishvara is a Vyeshti Brahman, Atma, Virata Purushaka. So, you heard this word called Tattvamasi, they say, right? Tattva means Ishvara, Tvam means you, both are the same. The Tvam Pada Vicharam, you must do, before you understand Tattvamasi, you must know what is Tat, what is Tvam. Before you know Tat and Tvam, you take the world as everything, you go after the world. Then you start realizing whether I learn about Java coding or Python coding or buy a car or go to stock market, it is endlessly going. It's not worth it. Therefore, I must know the knower myself. That is a Tvampata Vichara. Then the God, Tattva Vichara. So then you are learning when it comes to Vedanta, becomes only two parts. Tat Vicharam and Tvam Vicharam. Who am I? Where is God? What is God? To do this, you can do it as a brahmachari, as a grihastha, a vanaprastha, or a sannyasi. Sometimes sannyasis go around the world, not worshipping anything, just wander around. What are they trying to do? They're trying to find out, who am I? Why am I born to this world? So he's trying to do a tvampata vicharam. Some go wander around pilgrimage, Kashi, Rameshwaram, um, Tirupati. They will look for the God. Oh, I went to Tirupati, I saw the God. I waited in the queue for 6 hours. I saw it in 6 seconds. Then when I come down, I see a old lady feeding me, and I see goddess in her. So which is God? Is it that the Vigraham or this love? Tatpada Vichara. At some stage, you say, why am I searching for God everywhere? Is it He's in me? They say, no, you die in Varanasi. Yeah. Ganges is your Jnana Prakasham. Nasi means the nose. Vara means the eyebrows. Varanasi is where they join. That means this spot is in a tantric culture given as a spot for jnana. Basically means atma jnanam. So if I do all the looting in this world and I get an opportunity to go and die in Varanasi, well, I may get some punya because that's a holy place, but I won't get liberation because I haven't got the jnana. On the contrary, I am sitting somewhere in London and I all the time contemplate on myself. And one day, fadafat, I'm gone. And if my thoughts and trials gave me Atma Jnanam, it's as good as I died in Varanasi. You see? So this pursuit is called Shreyas. That means you must ask questions about it. Now, can I do some of this, some of that? Can I do prayers and then Shreyas? For example, I do prayers in the morning, go to office, make money. Evening, I'm going to do Shreyas. No, that is just a prayers. A fine point of phrase. These two are mutually exclusive. They cannot work together. So a common understanding, therefore, is if I want to be a Sriman, that means I possess Shreyas. It's not I have lots of money. I have this mumukshutvam. I have this desire to learn about myself. That is Shreyas. So I can say, to do this, when I am at home, I get all these problems. I get to serve all these people. Even though they are Papa Punyas, it disturbs me. Therefore, I take a scoot, I go around. You can do that. Or I said, look, I can be a renunciated person, when I'm doing my job, when I'm teaching others, when I'm studying, when I'm working, when I'm cooking, when I'm eating, because I am an observer, I'm a keen observer, I'm unattached. Every action I do is karma yoga, karma sannyasa. Everything I get is Ishvara Prasad. Failures don't upset me. Disease, oh, I observe it. Fine. Now, when you have that maturity, you don't need to be sannyasi. You can be very happily in a family life. You are a Shreyas. So you don't need to be worried that if I take Shreyas, I won't be able to work, I won't be able to bring money. You just work, money will come. But you work, discharge the work with the pursuit of learning about yourself. So he said that you cannot do this. Then in the next, I think in the fifth verse, he said, Adhyaya mandare vartamana swayam dhira pandidam manyamanaha. He said, no, he is building all this to confirm to himself that Nachiketas is a worthy disciple. So what he says here, these two Shreyash prayers come to you. You have a free will to choose. If you are foolish, you will choose the prayers. And if you choose the prayers, you will be thinking, this world is the end. This is what I need to do. Therefore, I keep on dwelling in the darkness. This is what he said in the verse 5 and verse 6. Ayam logaha nasti parayidi. Mutam ayam logaha nasti paramidi. The foolish guy thinks, this is the world. Hey, if you don't enjoy life, once you're dead, you miss everything. So he comes back, punar punaha. He's come back in the samsara. But those who takes Shreyas as a path, like Nachiketas, this is the point he's trying to make. He is a worthy teacher. So he says, when a good teacher is found and a good disciple is found, that marriage, that association, that satsang is supreme. It's very difficult to find a great disciple, very difficult to find a great guru. What is greatness here means? Here means they are driven by Shreyas. They are driven by Shraddha. Sakana bhavatu, sakana upunattu, sakaviryam karavavake. So both of them work together towards this goal. So he's pleasing himself that he found in a position of Guru, Yamadharma Raja, because there's a worthy session. So this is said in the 7th and 8th verse. Then he said, what kind of Guru you need? Narena Vareni Proktayesha in the 8th mantra. Especially the 3rd line. Ananya Prokte Gadiratra Nasti Aniyan Hedarkam Anupramanat. This Atma Jnanam, when the teacher is teaching, he is not teaching an object. It's not objective science. He's going to teach the method by which the Sishya can see the seer. Seeing the seer is not possible, right? I told you. You can't see your face. But you can see your pradibhimbam of your face, your reflection of your face. From there, you can become a realization that I am seeing, this is my face. The simple thing of showing mirror in a Laukika Dharma becomes so complex in Vedanta because there's nothing to see, there's no object to see. Anupramanat, it's subtler than the subtlest. Therefore, the teacher must be the most capable one to do it. So you have to be very discriminate to identify who is a teacher that comes to you. Then he says, Naisha Dargena Madirana Prayo, Proktan Yena Sunyanaya Preshtaka. Yesha Madi Darken. So, okay, he further says, okay, I have the knowledge. I have a debating capacity. I have a intellect which can comprehend complex stuff. So I go to this debate, I go to this one, I argue with him, argue with him. Can you achieve it? No. But then, how come Shankara argued? Shankara did not argue. Shankara made a statement and everybody else rejected it and they argued against it. Those who followed Shankara attained Jivan Mukti. Those who argued until they convinced become a Sishya. So the argument becomes a very futile exercise, but then you realize this is something beyond an argument. This is beyond Shraddha. This is the true nature of being. Silence, the eloquence that teaches you. And he says, Nachiketa, Bhuyat, Nachiketa, you are Prashtaha, you are the best disciple I got. So far he convinced himself that he is teaching the right thing. Then he in the verses 11, 12, he starts talking about, I think the 11th and the 12th are very important. Nachiketas, I am finding you the best student. See, you must think in the guru's empathy. Empathize as a guru. If he's hesitant to quickly teach, that means how important this knowledge is. So that's why when we approach a teacher and ask for Atma Jnanam, don't put him in a difficult position because you have to prove that you have a Shishtachara. It's not like, no, you sit there with your legs crossed and say, hey, what is this Atma? Just can you explain to me in 2 lines? No. And you don't buy the argument and engage in a vain discussion because this is not to be discussed like that. So you have to have a Shishtachara. Shishtachara means your mind has to be pure, you have to do karma yogam, do seva, blemishlessness, dedication, listening. So he says, Nachiketa, Atyasrakshihi, you did everything, you have removed all the prayers. Therefore, I'm going to teach you. In the verse 12, he says, I tell you that what you have to do, you must do Adhyatma Yogam. And he comes with a fantastic phrases to define the Atma Jnana. The mantra 12 is very important mantra. Tam Durdarsham Gudam Anupravishtam Guhagidam Kakfareshtam Puranam. All these are Atma, Puranam, very old. Durdarsham, you cannot see it. Anupravishtam, it is very difficult to, because attained Guhagidam, it's secret. All that you have to realize by Adhyatma Yogam. So only by doing Adhyatma Yogam, Devam Adhikamena, you can attain this Atma. Now, he has not told the technique yet. He's not told this knowledge yet. He's created excitement in Nachiketas. And then he goes on the 13th also. This is inside the heart of your cave. And he tells himself, Raja, this is such a secret. Nachiketas, you are fit to receive it. Which means the teacher has been absolutely convinced that he got the best student. Like when you get a good student, the teacher feels so happy because by giving to the student, the teacher's nishta increases. And same way, vice versa. Sakanalpunakto, sakaviryang karabhavakai. Now, Nachiketas was waiting for all this time. And he said, look, this is a good teacher. But he hasn't understood that I am very smart. I can very quickly get this. All this is fine. Now, because I asked you a very naive question, do I exist after death or not? You started telling me all about life, shreyas, prayers, everything. Now I rephrase the question. Anyatra dharmat, anyatra adharmat, anyatra asmat, krida kridat, anyatra buddhacha bhavyacha, yat tat pasyasi, tat vadaka. Oh, a lot of death. All that is fine. Now tell me, what is beyond dharma and adharma? What is beyond doing and not doing? What is that transcends the time and space? That you have seen it. Tell me that. Now he's now gives him a short rope to hold on to. He says, look, fine, don't elaborate. I know what I need to know. This Atma is beyond the adharma, right and wrong, pava punyas. It is beyond time and space. Tell me that. So this 14th mantra is a rephrased third boon of Nachiketas. This has to be, this of course, a lot of contemplation, like Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Saranam Vraja, the most loaded Bhagavad Gita mantra, 1865, 66 in Bhagavad Gita, like that. Then he says, okay, now you ask me for this, now I'm going to tell you. Now he starts in 15 and 16 and 17. He is now, this is the compassion of Guru. The child is ready to receive, but let me give him a little bit of a hand to help him out. Because this is objectless, it's subjective, it's very subtle. Can he hold it? So he's saying, Sarvaveda yatpada mamananti tabahumsi sarvani saishtatvadanti. Tatte padahum sankrahene brevim yo brevim om idyete. I am telling you, Nachiketas, in a very short form, what is his Atma? It is Om. The Omkara was given to him on 15th mantra. So 15, 16, 17 is about Omkara as a means. That's why normally we people don't say, don't do Om, Om, Om. Omkara Upasana you cannot do. Only sannyasis can do. That's not strictly true. What does it mean is Omkara Upasana is for those who follow Shreyas. I told you Shreyas is not just sannyasam. Sannyasam is a lifestyle. The motive is Shreyas means Omkara Upasana is possible. Why the distinction? Now comes the basic approach to Atma Vidya. I have a body, I have a mind, I have a Chaitanyam. With body, mind, I do in this world. The world is created by Ishvara. So Ishvara must have the body and mind and his Chaitanyam. Correct. So that Ishvara is called a Shaguna Brahman, and I'm called a Jiva. That Ishvara is called Parama Atma, I'm called a Jiva Atma. That means both are finite. Why it's finite? There is a form. Krishna is Parabrahman. Krishna is gone. Because as a Shaguna Brahman, it finishes. Ramana Maharshi was standing in the window looking at the Tiruvannamalai. He sees the mountain as the Parameshwara. Somebody asked, if Parameshwara comes in front of you, what would he say? He says, don't play this trick. Get lost. What does it mean? Because any form is mithyatvam. We don't say it's lie. I'm not a lie. But I am not the absolute truth. I have an empirical reality. When I'm dead, they will keep me for a couple of days. Then even my loving wife and children will say, take it away, not take him away, take it away. That is the state of body of anybody, any body. So, but we have to work on the body. We have to work with Shaguna Brahma. That's why you say, okay, work with Rama, Krishna, Lakshmi, Parvati, Parameshwara, Narayana, Anjaneya, Allah, Jesus. Use those names. In our dharma, we add Om in front of it. Om Krishnaya Namaha, Om Shivaya Namaha. Om is a Nirguna Brahman. This is Saguna Brahman. That means, what do I do with this? This is just a sound. Yes. The sound you do upasana. When you do upasana means upasanam, supreme seat, near seat. Near of Om means far away from everything else. Near of God means far away from the anatma. Not listening to music and do upasana, not listening to eating food and absolutely alone, you do upasana. Just repeating Om Japam. Now, if you do that, what happens? If you do the Omkar Upasana, when this body goes away, you get to higher world. Is it as good as doing all the yajnas? You get punyams. And if you motivate Shreyas, the Om will take you to the Brahma Lokam. You surpass all the Pitralokam, everything good, Brahma Lokam. And you go to Brahma himself as a teacher. And Brahma teaches you Atma Jnanam. Then you transcend to Advaita Anupati. So this is the path. Just upasana. No vicharam in this world. I do yajnam. I do Onkar Upasana. I don't go to Vedanta class. I just do Upasana. But I take long steps. It's called a Krama Mukti. I just simply say, do Onkar Upasana, go to Brahmaloka. It's not easy. Because doing that is very difficult. And you have to go to Brahmaloka, and there you have to have the Shraddha. You must listen to Brahma. Now, what is that Brahma is going to teach you? Different from what Yamadal Maharaj teaches Nachiketas, or Shankara teaches, or maybe a guru here teaches. Cannot be different. Truth is one. So why I have to struggle and take all these problems, all these issues, gradually go, and then reach Brahmaloka, and then a chance to go for the moksha. I can do it now, here. That is why Narajanmam Durlapam. You can only do it in the Bhumi, it's a karma Bhumi. So but what do I have to do? You still started the upasana, purify the mind, then you started to inquire what is Om. Edat aksharam brahma, edat aksharam param, edat aksharam jnatva, yodichari that. So jnatva means, dhyatva is upasana, jnatva means contemplation. So that's why Mundaka Upanishad, Mandukya Upanishad just gives you the whole thing in the Omkara Upasana. So Upasana takes you Krama Mukti. Upasana gives you purification of mind. So when I am purified the mind, if I am lucky, if I have Shraddha, I can go with a purified mind to Vedanta. I now do enquiries. I have no more of puja, punaskaras, jabas. No. Now I do Jnatva. I analyze it. I think through it. That takes you to Jivan Mukti. So he said that in the 15, 16, 17. Because you say Brahmaloke Mahiyate. Edat alambanam shrestame, tada alambanam param, edat alambanam nyatva, Brahmaloke Mahiyate. Then comes the 18th verse. Now, having given Adhyatma Yogam, having given Om as the sadhana, having given the Om Upasana and Om Vichara, now you come to the Atma itself. And he gives in two slokas the glory of Atma. Na jayate mriyate va vipaschit. This is the verse 18. Ayam vipaschit kudaschit na bubuva kaschit. It is not born. It doesn't die. He repeats the same thing. Na hanyate hanyamane sharire. The famous word. It is, Bhagavad Gita says, all the great warriors of independence said, Atma cannot be killed. Come what may. You can't touch me, we say, no? Whatever you do, hey, you cannot touch me, we say, sometime in anger. He can come and give you a slap. He touched you. No, he has not touched you. The one that you say that you cannot touch me is your Atma, untouched. So when you say that with such a veracity, sometime, that means you are speaking the truth. Because when even sometime in anger, when everything comes in, you say, the Swarupam comes in, you know. Sometimes you tell the children, hey, don't mess around with me. If I get angry, I'll show my Swarupam. We say that, but your Swarupam is not that angry face. That which is the Adhishtanam for the anger. So he said that in 18. On the 19th, he is seen as a killer, right? He takes away all this body. He said, Hanta chen manyate chet, hantum khanakaktam. I'm not the one killing anything because I can't kill. Nothing get killed. So I'm not a killer because he only allowed the separation of Atma to go away from the entrapment. I told you in Patanjali Yoga Sutram class called Abhinivesham. Say I have killed in my life a lot of spiders and I'm thinking of spiders all the time. I kill it. Then I will have a birth of a spider to go through the pain of death. Because I had an intense desire to kill spider. Now you were my classmate in this Janma and you got a knowledge and there's a spider and running around your house. You say, hey, that is Raja. Poor guy, got entrapped. He's generally good, but he got this intense desire to kill spiders. I want to relieve him. Let him finish his embodiment. So you come and try to heal me. What I do? I curse you. I run away. Because I believe this body is mine. But if I know as a spider, it's a relief for me, I said, please take me away. So death is not to be afraid. And Yamadharmaraja is the most compassionate being. So is Lord Shiva as a Samhara Murti. Because he relieves you from the illusion of the world and the fear of death, abhayam. So he said that. Then in the verse 20, 21, and 22, 20 and 22, he started giving a little bit more index to the Atma. Sat Swarupam and Chit Swarupam. Anoreniyan Magado Mahiyan. This one we spent 2 classes, you know it. It is smaller than the smallest, bigger than the biggest. Then in the 21 we talked about Asino Duram Vrjadi, Sayano Yal Sarvada. It is sleeping, goes everywhere. Sitting, goes somewhere. That we contemplate, and then we say, well, now he is actually, after defining the Paramatma as Chaitanyam, if it is bigger than the biggest, smaller than the smallest, it goes and it doesn't go. All that means it is all fulfilling. Right? That means it is all pervasive. Vishnu. Vishnu means all pervasive. Now, Veda doesn't talk about Vishnu, Shiva like 2 different beings. All later came when we had the Dvaidam started perishing and we wanted to create an identity for ourselves. Nothing wrong with this. But Vishnu means it is all pervasive. So, if it is all pervasive, this Jiva Bhavam, this body, I say Atma is inside me, it's all pervasive. What does it mean? I am in Atma. It's not that Atma is in me and Atma is not outside. I am in Atma, but Atma is also in me. I'm confusing it, right? How can it be possible? How can something be in it and something contain what it is in it? What is the example I gave you? Vedanta gives you Katakasham, Madakasham. You take a pot, the pot inside there's a space. The pot is in the space, but pot contains the space. When the pot is gone, there's no difference in space. When you move the pot from one place to other, are you moving the space from there to here, or the space is just in the pot? Undefinable. Asino duram vrjati. This is how you must understand. Space is the closest example. It is still an example only. So Atma is like that. But then we need some logical way to analyze this. Then he comes to the empirical reality. Well, all this is fine. I cannot tell my boss, I am at home. But he must see me there. I'm also in my office mentally. Don't you know the Upanishad? Can you say that? I get sacked. So in the empirical reality, I cannot hide behind the Atma Jnanam, not to discharge my duty. Adhyatma Yoga is discharging your duty as if you are doing it to do Dharma Rakshanam. Believe me, Dharma, you don't need to save Dharma. Dharma saves us. But you do it with the view to understand your own self. So therefore, I necessarily have to differentiate Kutastha Brahman and Chidabhasam. The one, my consciousness, unqualified, and the conscious mind. That means I need to differentiate between Ishvara in me, the Paramatma in me, and the Jiva in me. Now, if I see the same mantra, Jiva goes, Atma is staying put. So I have two things, Jiva and Atma. One is thinking Kartatvam, Bhaktatvam. One is a witness. The important for, but see, I'm trying to bring some logic in your understanding. After doing all this, he comes to the Dvaitam, that there is a Jivatma in you, that is your mind, which is a reflected consciousness. Now, that is what takes different body. Therefore, when you talk about death, it's nothing to do with the Atma. We say when somebody is dead, Atma Shanti be. Atma Shanti is Atma is Shanti. Atma doesn't need Shanti. It's a Jiva that transcends from here, has to attain this Shanti. So he is giving you that, hey, you need to see that the two things in you. The 22 also say, Asariram, Sarireshu, Vanaspateshu, Vavasthitam. So we saw that last class. Now, after finishing all this in 22 mantras, in 23 and 24, he is now giving some controlling statements to give discipline to him. I told you all this, my child, if you don't pass the exam, you will not get the iPhone. If you don't do Sandhya Vandanam, you won't get it. So you say a condition, if you don't do, or if you are not away from the bad things. So he said, Nayam Atma Pravachinena Labhyo, Na Medayo, Na Bhaguno Srinena. So you cannot argue with this, you cannot get this by knowledge, you cannot do by recitation of Veda mantras, you cannot just do by Shravanam itself. Even by listening to this, you will not get it. That's a kind of a misunderstanding, right? He says, Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasana. I come every day to listen to. Now he says, Na metaya, na bahuda shuneda, shrudena. Even you listen to many times, you cannot achieve it. What is he saying? What's he saying? He is now implying, he is not discarding, he is not saying don't listen, don't do Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasana. He's not saying don't do puja, don't do good things, don't recite Vedas. He's not saying that. But all this becomes useless if you don't have two things. What's the first thing? Ishvara Kripa. Here, Atma Kripa. Ishvara has to bless you. Well, this is the problem, right? Now you told me I don't need to do temple worship, I don't need to do sevas, I just come to Vedanta class, listen to all these things. How can Ishvara give me Kripa? Well, already told you, do Omkara Upasana, either a Shaguna Brahmam or Nirguna Brahmam. But do the Upasana not for attaining a lottery ticket winning, but attaining Atma Sukham. That means Ishvara Kripa will come to you if all your actions are for Mokshutvam. So there are two keywords you have to derive from this. Mantra 23rd tells you you have to do Mumukshutvam, that is Adhyatma Yogam, that is always seeking the true nature of yourself. And when you have that Mukshutvam, every action you do becomes Adhyatma Yogam. And what is Adhyatma Yogam? It's not sitting there closing eyes. It is everything you do with detachment as a Karma Yoga, Karma Sannyasa. And when you do that, Ishvara has nothing else to do but to give you Kripa. And how does he give the Kripa? In every way. He is not waiting for you. What you have to ask for it. He will make sure everything happens in the family well. Your loans get discharged. You get, whenever you need money, you get it. Your health comes improve. Hey, I didn't ask for it. Well, he has to take care of you. That is his. Why should I worry about? Why should I put a list of it? God, this month I'm very short of money. Find me some jobs. Or next month, I got money, but I have to go for a holiday. Can you be a life insurance for me? No. So that means you are not really utilizing well the Ishvara Kripa. Ignore all this. Sarva Kama Parityajam, Sarva Dharma Parityajam. Give up all these desires. Anything I do to perfect myself. That is to knowing myself. Then all comes to you. Of course, there is a risk there. When everything comes to you, and then you may get this is the prayers and Shreyas come and dance in front of you. Hey, come on. You've been a Shreyas person, but I'm giving you this. Isn't it more interesting? And when you lose, prayers takes you away. Ishvara Kripa goes away. Mokshitam goes away. So your life is a tightrope. Don't think it's easy to be a renunciated person, because everybody around you is trying to trap you in some sort. The loving, look of a child. Dad, you're not playing with me this time. Why are you doing japam? You heart melt. Oh, God can wait. That's it. So it has to be ruthlessly steadfast in your things. Everything got a time. You plan it. And when you do this, everything happens. Then in 24th, he said, Na birado duscharita, na shanto, na samahitaka, na shanta manaso vapi, prajnane naina apniyat. That is one who has not desisted from bad contact, who is not restrained from the indriyas, whose focus is not there, whose mind is not still, cannot realize Atma no matter how sharp his intelligence is, how much he knows Vedas. You see the importance of mind now? So that's the reason why you cannot, Karma Kandam cannot be ignored. If Vedantam is all only important, why Vedas wasting time? 86% of the Vedas are karmas. No. You cannot handle Vedas, the burning fire in your hand. You got to be pure. You do karmas. And you do karmas for your fun. And Atma Sukham slowly start develop into Atma Sukham, slowly become a karma yogi, karma sannyasi, upasaka, jivan mukta. So this is what the 24 mantras give. Then we come to the last mantra. Yasya brahmacha shatram cha ubhe bhavata otanaha mrityur yasya upaseshanam kahayita veda yatrasaha. Yasya, that means that Atman for which brahmacha shatram, that means this brahmanas and kshatriyas, or in other words, the beings of higher social order, obey both of them. Odanaha bhavataha, they become the food for the Atma. What he's saying is, the Atma, we can think of Ishvara, Paramatma, he eats up the Brahmana Kshatriya. That means at some stage, all this Dvaitam is taken away, some harm happens. He's just quoting Brahmana and Kshatriya just to show the highest order of living. That means everything else. When Brahmana Kshatriya becomes the food, what happens to normal people like us? Then he goes very interestingly. Mrityur yasya upaseshanam. This mrityu, Nachiketa, this death, you are seeing me, this death, who am I? Because he is also somebody to go into the Atma, Layam. He says, I am being used, kaha, to Atma, upaseshanam. Upaseshanam means condiment, pickles like side dishes. When the whole everything is eaten by the Atma, Yamadharmaraja is the pickle. What does the pickle do? It makes you eat well, right? Enjoy the eating. So the death is like a pickle for the Atma to consume everything else in Paramalayam. That means kaha veda ityaha yatra saha. If that is the case, who am I to know Atma? Who can know this Atma? It eats up everything else. What it means is the Atma is sarva adhisthana. Everything is in Atma. So all this kind of I teach, you learn, all these are just a mithyatvam, some dvaitam. I get up, I have got a different form, you got a different form, and this form doesn't know what this form knows, so this form teaches it, and both forms get dissolved. Now, when it dissolved, Buddhists came to this level of understanding, even though they hated Vedas. But they thought shunyam. You see, there are 6 schools, Astika schools, as you know. Astikas are that school of thought which believe in Vedas. Sankyam by Kapila Muni, Nyayam, Vaisheshikam, Purvamimamsam, Uttaramimamsam, Yogam. Yeah, Sankyam, Yogam is Patanjali. And then you have Nyayam, Ganatha, Vaisheshikam. And then you have Purvamimamsam, which is all this karma, Uttaramimamsam, Vedas. There are 6 schools. We are in the Vedanta. We are in the Vedanta school. All the schools believe in Vedas, but they interpret differently. Vedanta assimilates everything else. Of course, in Vedanta, you have further divisions there. Those schools who don't believe in Vedas are called Nastikas. Now, this is also part of Sanatana Dharma. Nastika is not something we hate. It's also part of it. But we consider them baseless, because ultimately you need some references. It doesn't have any references. So Buddhism, there are 4 types of Buddhism: Mahayanam, Hinayanam, Shanikavadam, Sunyavadam. Then you have Jainas. Then you have Charuvakas, who doesn't believe in any existence at all. So in this 6 Nastikavadam, I can tell you, you can bring all the opposing views of the world about spirituality, about God. Everything is questioned. For all this, there are answers in this Astika schools. Some requires belief, some requires karma, and that which only depends on reasoning and the Shruti Vakyam is Advaita Vedanta. There, everything gets resolved. But to go there, you need to have a step by step. So this is how Yamadharma Raja finishes the 2nd chapter. So this 2nd Valli. So the 25 of the 2nd Valli, 29 of the 1st Valli, and then there is a 3rd Valli, all in Prathama Adhyaya. That has got a 17 verses, mantras. Some of the famous quotes are coming from there. That gives you into 3 sections, I would say. Atma Vidya, Atma Jnanam, and Atma Vidya, and Atma Palam. So it's going to elaborate what has been discussed in a very beautiful way. You see the quotes are taken in everywhere in Mahabharata and Bhagavad Gita and all these things. So that is in the 3rd Valli. Then there's a 2nd chapter. 2nd chapter's got 3 valleys as well. 2nd chapter, some say it's added later, but it's also very beautiful. So we completed today with this 1st Adhyayam of Katopanishad. God willing, and if there's time, we will do the 3rd Valli. Let's say that. Om Purnamada Purnamidam
Om Purnamidam
Purnat Purnamudachyate
Purnat
Purnamudachyate
Purnasya Purnamataya
Purnasya
Purnamataya
Purnameva Vasishyate
Purnameva Vasishyate.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om
Om Shanti Shanti
Shanti.
Hari Om Tatsate.
Tatsat.
Thank you, Raja.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you very much. Thank you, Bala.